Indeed, thank you for joining us here live on KTN News, where we have been covering the first anniversary of the Garissa University attack on location at the Garissa University College. A long and interesting day. It has been full of activities, a day that began with a marathon in the morning, as well as interdenominational prayers and the unveiling of a monument. And indeed, the country has been able to see the conclusion of the marking of the first anniversary of an attack that saw 148 lives lost that day. 148 names engraved in a monument that will stand at this premise as a reminder of the lives of those who lost their loved ones on this day exactly a year ago here at the campus. Of course, messages of peace, reconciliation, defiance coming from both political and religious leaders condemning the attack vehemently. But the messages, of course, coming and drawing a bit closer home for those who lost their loved ones, and especially those who managed to survive the attack and lived to tell about it. And it's the basis of that upon which I went out and did a story of the survivors 1 year later. How have they been dealing with the pain? How have they been dealing with the trauma? How have they been dealing with the injuries? And most importantly, how they have been dealing with the scars of that heinous act that will live with them forever. So even as we leave you here, and on behalf of the entire production team here at the KTN News, we do say indeed a good night, and we leave you with the story, Scars of Terror. Standing at the front entrance here of the Garissa University College, that for many years represented a learning community on the inside and a community of residents here in Garissa town on the outside, and that on the 2nd of April 2015 represented terrorists on the inside versus government forces here on the outside trying to push their way inside. But even as we return, we hope that this entrance will not only signify separation, but rather a unity of a people affected so deeply by events that they hope will never take place again here. Events that saw armed men storm the institution in the wee hours of Thursday morning on that 2nd day of April. It was a 16-hour standoff that in its way could leave a body count of terror that Kenya had not witnessed since the 1998 embassy bombings in Nairobi. The survivors, months later, would make their way to Moi University's main campus in Eldoret.
So that day ulikuwa wapi?
Mimi nakumbuka vile tulipatikanaga Mathare. Ilikuwa weird.
Daisy Achieng and Juan Peter are just two among the over 600 students who were brought here to proceed with their studies.
Zile feelings bana, unapata na mauchungu.
While at Garissa University College, they barely knew each other. But here, they have grown closer, brought together by an unfortunate event that has seen them relive that experience each and every time someone asks them about it.
Actually, on that day, I was just waking up. It was around 5:30 a.m. in the morning. I was just waking up, getting ready for the day's activities. So suddenly I hear gunshots, and I thought maybe a thief was being followed or something. I wasn't really sure, so people were still confused. Suddenly my roommate ran into the room and told us that there's some people outside there shooting all over. So we were still confused. But when I had one of my friends, he was called Moses, I heard him shout outside, "Stop killing us, acheni kutuua." So I was confused still. Then I had 2 shots and he was quiet. Then I heard a voice saying, "Mkitusumbua, you'll end up like your friend." That's when I knew these are the enemies, they're not our friends or something. So all of us who were in the room got under the beds.
For Peter, the impact of that day perhaps more eminent than for Daisy. Peter has since had to live with a physical disability for a year now since the attack.
I remember 2nd of April as one of my turning point into my life since your day bana. I used to be strong, nilikuwa nacheza rugby, I used to train. I used to be that strong person mwenye angejifanyia kila kitu. But concurrently The only thing naweza fanya saa hii ni kupika uji. Hata siwezi koroga ugali. Yeah, since I'm a lefty, my left was totally damaged. But I thank God for the gift of life, because it remains a story.
Peter survived with several gunshot wounds. Having been shot 6 times on that day, he tells us it remains a miracle how he survived. He shows us the remaining scars from where bullets were pulled out. He fought with the terrorists, he says, but they overpowered him.
Nakumbukaga some of the memories vile managed kutoka pale nje, nasemaga ni Mungu, sababu with the intestines ukiwa umeshikilia zimetoka. And I ran for a distance of around 400 meters until wakati nilikuja nikamit jamaa alikuwa na gari, alikuwa country kwa hiyo side. I remember ilikuwa gari ya white, I think KS kitu kaa hiyo. Hiyo namba bila sikumbuka vizuri, lakini ilikuwa Toyota ya white. Ndio wakatuchukua wakatupeleka OC. Tulikuwa 2 students, mimi na mwenzangu alikuwa ameshutiwa mguu.
Garissa town remains bustling. Activities here are rarely slowed down even after terror attacks. Just ask the people here and they will tell you life must go on. A government-sanctioned curfew had been imposed on the town in the days following the Garissa University College attack, but now life is slowly sprouting back to its usual self. The evidence shown in the new colors that dot the campus. A makeover of the institution coming just 9 months after the attack. The synonymous green and white colors that were known by many here, replaced by the warmer colors of brown and gold. Abdikarim Mohammed saw it all. The man who owns a shop, restaurant and residential houses just at the doorstep of the campus had his residential home play a crucial role in the battle between government forces and the militia on the 2nd of April. When KTN News caught up with Abdikarim last year, he was a man counting huge losses. Now, Mohammed has a new lease of life. He had plans to sell all his assets and relocate elsewhere, but when the college reopened in January this year, he changed his mind.
Kuna dalili imeanza kujitokeza. Tumeanza kufungua biashara. Customs wameanza kurudi. Kwa sasa hivi naona tuko na matumaini ya kwamba kila kitu itarudi kama kawaida.
The section of an acre upon which Abdikarim's property stands is not worth much, he admits. But moving out, he says, would mean the terrorists win. He owns 5 residential houses here, but now he says their value has gone down, forcing him to charge half of the rent he used to.
Tangu siku ile imetokea shida hapo, nimeona kila kitu imebadilishwa, security imebadilika, wasimamizi wa usalama wamebadilishwa. Na sijaona kama mnarefu, naona kila siku kuna badron. Naona kila siku kuna watu wameweka askari wa usalama wanazunguka kila mahali. Na hata wananchi wako alert. Kama sione kwamba kama kuna mtu yote anaweza kujisaidia maisha wananchi wa Kenya.
But Abdikarim is not the only one counting setbacks since the attack took place. The education sector in the region, and most certainly Garissa town, has taken a huge blow. And the students at the Garissa High School know it all. The school, usually sustained by volunteer teachers, has since seen a drop in the number of teachers.
So to elevate the temperatures...
Out of the 7 additional volunteer teachers that taught at the school, only 2 came back after the attack took place. 18-year-old Ahmed Aden Bare tells me he one day wants to be an engineer. The Form 4 student at the school is however concerned that the Garissa University College attack, which took place just a few meters from where they are, may have affected many students here like him, more than many here are willing to admit.
To prevent all this to run away, the school should have at least a good fence where they should prevent the any attack coming. The teachers will have at least moral saying that we are safe now, we won't get any attack. So the school is fenced all over. the teacher is very safe. As you can see now, the fence, there are no fence in the school. Someone can even jump there across, go out to the school. Some come in the school anytime. You don't know, your life is in danger, as if your life is in danger now. So when the government builds at least a fence around the school, the teachers feel safe, and then they can, more teachers could be employed in the school, and then they can easily teach.
Back at Moi University's main campus, the former Garissa University students indeed feel a bit safer, but dealing with the trauma is what many here believe remains a tough task.
Most of us, they do find comfort in drugs. Napata mtu anakuambia, hii weed ndo painkiller. Anytime vitu kaizo zikikam, then we develop some behaviors like, we can't have peace in the hostels. Most of us, almost 90% can't have peace in the hostels. So you have to be an resident, na book room inje, you pay, which is also expensive.
They tell us that the counseling sessions offered by the university only lasted a month after they arrived here, and since then, the school administration has been dragging its feet in dealing with the matter.
At first, they were offering counseling, but of late, there's no counseling being offered. It's like when we were integrated, they just left us to find our way within the institution. Yeah, they never they don't even follow up to see, okay, how have you been?
But the school administration insists that the school did the best it could considering the resources it had.
This is a large university with 52,000 students, undergraduate, masters, PhD, and about 10,000 or so diploma students. And Student Affairs Division is a relatively young division because we are now 2 years old. The Dean of Students Office could have been there for all these years. The number of student counselors that we have within the division is small. We have this large number of students who come with challenges. Even without the Garissa attack, we already were overwhelmed with the number of students that we are dealing with. The little staff that we have could find it difficult to manage everybody.
But the Garissa University students brought here are not taking the matter lightly. They say that one of them is currently admitted at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital after several attempts of suicide, a factor that the administration seems to be downplaying.
Sunday ikifika usiku nika receive another text like, take care of my mom. That's the text alinitumia. So nika realize there's something wrong. Nikaenda huko kwake, nikifika nikapata ameza tablets mingi. So nikampeleka OC, wakajaribu kumfanyia hizo first aid. Then yesterday in the morning, that is Monday, tukampeleka referral. He was admitted in the mental ward.